This is a second part of the video. I'm showing how I take one of the stick figures and make it into a sprite you can use in Mugen. I'm just making one of them for this video because it takes a while to get it finished. I don't want to go too fast. So I separated that one sprite onto its own file, and now I'm looking for all the sprites I can use to recreate it. I'm looking for different body parts like the stick figure's left arm, the head, the leg, all the sprites that kind of look like they would fit that pose. I save them out, and later I bring them into Photoshop and use them to cut pieces out and place them where I need them. I'll set it up like that. That's a Frankenstein that I do. I just build it really roughly, and then I go in with the paintbrush and I start painting whatever needs to be cleaned up, or I'll distort the limbs or like turn them, change the shading on them, whatever I need to do to get it to the way I want. So here I got all the sprites I'm going to need for this, and I just set them up around so I can just grab them real quick. Here I can tell I'm going to use that leg, so I flip the sprite to get close to the pose of the stick figure and just turn the leg, skew it so it fits. And the sprites get blurry when you do this, but I don't really care about that. It's just the whole idea is to get the pose I want. Later, if I want to be real picky about it, I can just go back and clean it up with the paintbrush and pencil tool. It's not going to come out perfect because you don't have the actors to do the move for you, but give and take, you can get pretty close this way. So I noticed I didn't really like the way that his left arm was looking, so I found another sprite that looks a little better. Put it in place, rotate it, I get the forearm from one sprite and the upper arm from another, and put them together. And it looks ugly at first, but you keep working at it, and just trying to get it to look nicer. And that takes some artistic skill. If you can't draw, this is gonna be kind of tough, but you can try. This is not like the easiest type of thing to do for sprite creation, because you got to do a lot of manual labor. You can't just put a guy's leg on where you want it and leave it at that. You got to fix it, make it look better. Right there, I'm trying to make it so his left hand is on top of his right fist. But I'm having a hard time painting it because it's a really small image. What you can do when that happens, you can blow it up, and increase the size of the document so you have more pixels to work with. You can paint that way, and then when you're ready, you can shrink the document down again and use that. I've done that before, but not on this one. Right here, I'm using the liquefy tool, and there's some more options in this window, but I I had the resolution set so low that I couldn't fit the whole window on the screen, so I couldn't turn off the extra layers. But the liquefy lets you bend the image, so you can, if you have like a bump somewhere, you want to make an indentation instead, or you want to bend something, however, that'll let you do that pretty easy. You can do it with the warp tool in Photoshop too, but liquefy is more intuitive, I think, because you can just brush it however you want. There I'm missing his back, so I'm just painting it by hand. Whatever I'm missing that I can't get with the real sprites, I try to get close by just painting it by hand. You gotta fake it. Fill in the blanks. Right here, I made it into an indexed image, so the blurry pixels around the edge get made 100% opaque. So that's what you'll need for sprites, so you don't get like a white border around them. I do that every time I go to save a sprite, because it'll clean up the edges. It'll take anything that's semi-transparent and it'll make it solid. So that's really important. And here I'm getting it ready to save, but before I save, I do a whole bunch of little tweaks where I find little pixels that they're not looking right. I just go and looking around the sprite and fixing them. And I test different palettes on it too. And I set these stuff like getting sprites ready for export, changing the color settings, changing the palettes. I set all those things to Photoshop actions. You can record a few steps that you do in Photoshop, and then instead of doing all that again, you can just press one button and it'll do it, or you can assign it to a hotkey too. So Photoshop actions, you use them whenever you can, because it saves a lot of time. There's another thing is the batch file. It'll let you like if you have a folder full of sprites and you make an action, you want to apply that action to every single file in that folder. You do that with a batch file function. It's under the file menu. I don't show it here, but just so you know, you look it up. It's really useful. And here I'm just going around, just trying to fix whatever little things stick out at me. I'm color picking from the image, because I already set it to index color, so there's a certain palette that I can use. I can't add any other colors, only the ones that are already on there. So I just I color pick directly from the image and work with that. And right here you saw that I changed the color palette. I have those set to actions, Photoshop actions, so I can just hit a hotkey and it'll change the colors on the character. And with different color palettes on them, you can see certain pixels that are working right for one palette but not the other. So you can just go cycle through different palettes and find the problems and fix them. I don't worry about blurry edges or using soft brushes until I get to this last step. When I'm making the starting point, just putting the parts together, I'll use anything, whatever I need to get it the way I want.